Is this thing on? I think this thing's on. Welcome everybody to another Georgia Archery podcast. Like I said before, we're going to start doing some long form podcast, and tonight's guest is a friend of me for I don't know how long. I couldn't even mathematically figure it out earlier tonight when I was trying to figure out how long we've known each other. But I'll tell you that when I shot Bo Novice, I had this nice friendly letter written by this man, he was young then, that says, by the way, you're no longer shooting a Bo Novice class, move on. So tonight's guest is Brian Dansby. How you doing, Brian?
Doing great. I guess I better start with the very beginning and defend myself. When I was the ASA state rep for years, I took a lot of kids because I did like high school senior projects around here. So I took a lot of kids to shoots. And I remember one time taking kids to the ASA state, and they're like, happy with their 186 or whatever. But the guy that won it shot a 240 something. And so I started going, okay, we got to do something about that. And we'll just start with a funny story, and you can go back into your intro after that. But years ago, David Metters from down in South Georgia, I think Factory or one of those towns down in South Georgia.
Yep.
He had come in like second or third at the state in one year. And then the next year, when the first qualifier of the year was Margie and Jerry down in Folkestone. People that don't know, Threads used to be in Georgia, so way down in Folkestone, Georgia. And David had won with like 220 or something, very first shoot of the year. This is like January, February. Yep. And so I called and said, hey, look, man, you need to go ahead and bump on up to Hunter. He kind of let me have it. And I said, I promise you, if you work as hard as you're doing in Hunter that you did in Novice, you'll win Hunter at state this year. So in July, he came up and said, you were right, I won state. So we've been buddies ever since. So it's that's how far back all this goes. And that's kind of why I did it, was for the kids.
Yeah, because, at the time, nobody should have stayed in that class shooting up. You shouldn't sandbag in that class and just get what you get. That's sort of like back then, it was like, hey, I remember we had a really good organization across the state, and we had lots of clubs that would talk to other clubs and look at the scores. So as you moved across, they would go, no, you done finished twice in Bo Novice. You need to move up to Hunter. So they policed themselves, Yeah. We don't have that now because of the way things have changed. They don't call it a novice class anymore. There's a Pins 30 and open, or freestyle 30 or open 30, whatever it is, known 30, open. So, classes have changed, different things. I remember you watching you walk over to the pro range and shoot and, do your thing and represent. How long have you been shooting, Brian?
I started in 1999. Don't know how I remember that number so well, but I did. Shot Hunter my first year. The next 2 years, I went to Open B, then 2 years for Open A, and then I went to semi-pro until I died. Until I turned 50. I never could win out of semi-pro. A few years I was within a few $100s, but you didn't want to have to give $350 and let Levi kick you in the boys. So I just stayed in semi-pro for a long time, and then went to senior pro for a few years.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. Like I said, we've been knowing each other for a long time. Like I said, I tell everybody that I have the last shooter of the year from Bo Novice.
Cool. Before. I remember hearing you say that. Yeah, that's cool. Before it went to an automatic kick out.
Exactly. And so, which is fine. I'm not against the kick out by no means. Don't get me wrong. But I hold something that nobody else can get because they don't have that anymore. But, other than that, we had lots of changes. You remember we judged yardage on everything.
There was no known. I remember one time when ASA, we went to Gainesville, Florida, and very few people probably remember this. We shot the first year of uppers. We shot lowers the first day and uppers the second.
Uppers were second day. They were trying to
cussing, pissing, and moaning about having to shoot uppers.
For sure. I
think I shot like 7 or 8 8s right out the top and said, I can shoot at 14s and do this.
Exactly. So, well, and speaking of 14s, we used to shoot at 14s.
Yep. In the round.
There's no doubt in my mind. On a Sunday afternoon, when all of the when the racetrack would fire up, it would sound like them suckers would come through the woods at Gainesville. I mean, it was
always
crazy.
one of my favorite places. I love that place.
For
if you
sure.
got down, like you're saying, if you got down to the end of that range where it was close to where they ended their run,
that's right.
It would hurt your ears.
For sure. It was the craziest thing in the world. But people don't, different things. Like, I mean, you shot in different places. I mean, we've been in most of these places for several years now. But, I mean, you shot Myrtle Beach and you shot some other places.
Waded through Myrtle Beach. Yeah,
exactly. You needed your waders for sure. In Texas when we when it was flood and the wind would blow, I mean, and several other places that we've been over the time, the Pennzoil Tour and the, different things. So, I mean, you've been around a while, you've seen it change, you've seen it grow, and, in good in some ways, I mean, and in other ways, you may not like. The one thing I will say is ASA has changed a lot in the years. My pen still does not look at an upper. My body does not look at when I look at a target, I look at now that we have quit 14s, I never even look at them anymore. But I used to look at those 14s because like the Black Bears 14 was so close to the 12, you could probably hit a 10 or 12 and a 14 all at the same time if you put it in the right space.
You definitely could.
Yep.
Yeah, you talked before we even started this. I did go shoot an IBO this weekend. Drove up to Mount Airy, North Carolina. I don't shoot IBO. It's just they're usually too far away. I went up and saw my grandchild in Greenville, South Carolina, and then drove the rest of the way to shoot that IBO. But my whole talk to myself driving up is no safety yards, no safety yards, no safety yards. Because I'm a lower shooter. If it looks like 48, I'm shooting it for 50, and aiming at the 12, that kind of thing. So, because I shoot unknown. So
that's right. You shoot what everybody used to shoot.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, it's a dying thing. It really is.
Well, that's again, I laughed with Larry Cade, who still shoots. He still shoots ASA, but he sets a lot of those courses for IBO, and I was giving him a little bit of a hard time this weekend about beating me up because those courses were really hard. A lot of downhill, a lot of uphill, a lot of side hill. It was really difficult judging. But what I always tell people is if I go shoot a known distance, which I got hurt a couple years ago and I shot known for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you're done, hey man, you want to go hit some golf balls? What do y'all want to do? Let's go do something,
Yeah.
I shoot unknown. I argue with myself for 3.5 hours. I want to go take a nap.
You're ready to take a nap. It's a long, hard day to struggle with the numbers and struggle with the thing and convince yourself that it's it and 100% commitment on the shot,
Yeah, lying to yourself. If you can lie to yourself and say it's exactly 42 yards, that helps. I'm not really good at it because I don't believe myself.
You don't believe in yourself for sure. But yeah, I mean, and so we've seen over the years lots of different things change. Like I hate it, and I'm just going to bring this up because we're talking about ASA and how the changes happened. But there is not an unknown distance for kids to work through.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. It might have been you that I heard say that the other day, you and whoever your guest was, but I didn't realize that because I remember we had a kid that shot with us back when we had a growing group, kind of like you have. We had a growing group of youth at a shop we had in Columbus one time, and this one kid kept shooting like open 40, and I'm like, I didn't know. That's probably why even 5 or 6 years ago they probably didn't have it, and I didn't know that.
Yep.
He wanted to judge, and he kept saying, "Well, I want to shoot pro one day, so I want to judge." And so I just said, okay, I understand. I didn't realize there was not anything youth, judging.
No, and that's a downside of everything that we got going on. I mean, when I remember the first 45 class was introduced, and I tell this story because I didn't have time to judge, because you need to judge 12 times more than you shoot your bow. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind on that. But I didn't have time to judge, and I was like, hey, I'll just sign up for this known distance class. It doesn't matter, at least I can hit the rangefinder and execute a decent shot. There were less than 30 people in that class
yeah.
the first time.
Again, I'm gonna mention names that me and you know, a lot of people know, but like, I mean, Mitchell Irvin first jumped into that known 50 when it first became a thing, and he was real competitive. But they could only get 20, 25 people back then.
For sure.
And so anyway.
Yeah, and then that's the crazy part. Like we're talking about from that, the first year class, 30 people, roughly. I mean, I think it was 26, but 26 people in the first time. And then a year later, it doubled. And then a year later, now we have 5 and 6 to a stake because they didn't have enough room for everybody.
Yeah, you're probably shooting the biggest class, aren't you? Aren't you shooting senior known?
Senior 45, yeah. That's the biggest class there is.
Yeah.
Yep. But even before that, the 45 class was the biggest. Now we're all just old. So I tell everybody, my class is probably the biggest class. Well, it is the biggest class. We had 119 and 97 on in the first two classes, or the first two ASA Pro-Ams of the year. And what I tell everybody is those guys went in different directions. Some shot hunter class, some shot open, and A, B, and C, but we've all aged out and we don't have time to judge, so we get in this class and just have a good time. And it's great to see all the guys that used to judge yardage, shoot 14s, the whole 9 yards. It's the same guys, but now we're all in the same class together, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy that class very much so. But yeah, I don't have to judge yardage.
Yeah, I had the conversation again today about just I've been doing more coaching lately because, again, I think I told you this before we started, with just nostalgia. Like the coach that I had, the only real coach I ever had in archery, other than guys that would just tell me things like R.B. Smith, not R.E. of Atlanta, R.B.
R.B.
R.B. out of Columbus was just a guy that just helped me so much, and he's passed away recently.
Yep.
Dan Hart was my only real coach out of wherever the rocket science up there in North Alabama, whatever that's called.
North Alabama, yep.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the town. But anyway, he was a really good coach, and he's passed away in the last year or two. So many of those coaches and people that were an influence on me have passed away. And I'm like, so I've started coaching more. But I've had the conversation with a couple of people I'm coaching. They're like, dude, you've got to shoot 40 up almost a day, 22 up a day to be competitive in some of these known distance classes. So I think it'll probably be cyclical. I think you'll have a few people trying to go back to learning judging because of the fact that you don't have to shoot every 12.
For sure.
You just got to shoot, you just got to play smarter, I guess. Miss in the right place maybe is a thing to say.
Well, yeah, so the judging yardage, and I looked at it. If you shoot 4 or 6 up, you probably are really close to the top right now in our age group, because we're, yeah. Don't get me wrong. That top end, the pro class, they're going to be what they're going to be. There's no doubt about it. But if you're moving through, which would have been B before, A before, those classes, if you figure those people, we used to shoot 10 or 12 up because everybody judged. But now it's, if you can shoot up or even, you're in the hunt, because people don't judge anymore. And that's, it's understandable. Don't get me wrong. I've actually contemplated just going back, because it's a different game. There's no doubt in my mind it's a different game, because there's been plenty of times that I'm, like you said earlier, that's 46, 48, or that's 37, 38, 39. I'll add 2, hold hard in it, or hold into IBO. If I fall out, I hit it. If I don't, I'm still in the hole, that kind of thing. You can't play that in the known distance. You set your sight, you hold on the dot, and you shoot it. The problem is I can't see the dot no more.
Anyway. Well, you called me or texted me.
Well, I texted you because I saw you posted a little video. Y'all were headed over to RBO to shoot, you and Mike, and you wanted to talk about the shooter of the year in the pro class. Because
there's been a lot of discussion about it. Again, you were saying ASA has never been scared of change. They made a change this year and kind of surprised a few people. going from your cumulative score for the year to now a point system, 50, 48, 46, 44. So that's kind of had a lot of people going, how was this? This year's kind of a wait and see, I guess. Everybody's just looking at it like some people don't like it and they voiced it. Other people are like, well, let's just see how it turns out.
Well, I've seen both sides of the thing, about the where you finish in the shoot down, because we've never used that. I mean, It's always been where you come off on, of the 20, the 40 targets, and that's what was used.
40 target score.
That's right.
That's kind of like, I think me and Mike Webb, the other owner of, hang on a second, selfless plug here.
Don't worry. We want you to plug. That's what Georgia Archery is about. You're down there in that area, and customers that are in that area, they see this, they know where to find you. So
I say it all the time. I tell people all the time that come in, they go, well, how do you get along with this shop? I get along with 99% of the shops in Georgia. I'll call John and say, hey, do you have this color bow and this in stock?
For sure.
A customer that wants it. And
that's what archery shops should do. Mm-hmm. We should help each other, because we are such a we're such a small group of people that we can't fight amongst ourselves. There's no reason to.
No. But yeah, I was going to start with where me and Mike went where we ended.
Yeah.
If I can go through my 97 pages of notes, we're basically talking about what is the positive and the negative. The negative so far is we don't really know, but the ones that I pointed out was that, like, this is just taking an example of one shooter. Chance Bobeff in Foley shot a 418. Phenomenal score. So, basically like 208, 210, whatever. So that's a really good score. But he came in the 11th. So he got 30 points. Based on the new system is 50 for first after the shoot down, 50, 48, all the way down to 10th, which is 32. And if you tie for 10th, you get 32. If you come in at 11th, from 11th to 60th, you get 30 points. So you only get 2 points for actually making the top 10.
Yeah, so essentially, if you're in 11th place, you get 30 points. And you're in last place, you still get the same 30 points.
Yep. So there's going to be tons and tons and tons of ties. But anyway, so Chance shot a 418 and came in 11th, and he gets 30 points. If somebody had shot a 178 the first day and didn't come back the second day, they're tied. So that's the only negative. And then, again, I remember, like, Jack Wallace one time shot a 440 at one of these events. So say somebody comes out there and shoots just a stupid score, and the guy they go through the whole shoot down, they no sixth arrow because they won by 20 points. They're going to have a 2-point advantage over second place instead of a 20-point advantage.
Exactly.
Yep. So it kind of kneecaps you there. So those are the two negatives that I really see, the two biggest negatives. And the other, the positive would be that, yes, it does include the scores from the shoot down. So it makes guys, you got to get in the shoot down, and you can go from 5th to 1st now and pick up, 8 points. So it's, that is a good thing, I guess. It does make the shoot down more exciting, or the fact that winning the shoot,
it counts more.
It counts more, yes.
Yep. I don't have a problem with it counting more. I'm just not sure about the math yet.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things I think Mike Webb had brought up, was that basically let's say if you went, 30 points from 11th to 20th, and then, 26 or 25 points or whatever from 21st to 30th, something like that. So at least it's not everybody's at 30.
No, I mean, I would say let's say that I don't know what they're dropping off by 2, right? So it's 30, it's 50, 48. It's dropping off by 2, right?
All the way to 32, yeah. And then after that, it's everybody gets 30.
So, but yeah, at 11, why don't they just drop it 4? Boom, 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 the rest of the way out. Because, I mean,
what they probably have to do there is just, let's say you have 48 people in the class. First place would have to be 48, 47, 46, 45.
Exactly. Yeah, just one. Yeah, 1 point. Or
that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that would be fine, because the guy who's in last place, and you've seen.
It really hurts my feelings that you're talking bad about me like that.
You've seen guys that have come in hot.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments and ain't done nothing, and then all of a sudden figured it out. and come in hot, and then they're awarded for that, which is great, but they were hanging down there at 30 for so long that there's no way for them to. I mean, Joseph goes, all he's got to do is finish third overall.
Oh yeah,
he's just got to average.
Well, like I said, I'm an insurance adjuster. It's what I do for a living. Yes, we own a shop, but we work in the afternoons and swap off during the day type things. But so I drive a lot. So one day, this is what started the conversation between me and Mike on the way to RBO last weekend, was just as I'm driving along thinking about it, I just started pulling out my calculator or my phone and using the calculator and just looking. So I guess I'll go ahead and set the stage and kind of just say who did what for the first two shoots. You know, we've only had two, and Joseph Goza won the first one. Dan McCarthy came in second. Jacob Sluzars came in third. And then for Fort Benning, Brady Myers came in first, which he just won that IBO I went to this weekend also. Glenn Bordwell came in second, and Georgia's Zach Hill came in third.
Yeah, I interviewed Zach the other day.
That was a good interview, yeah.
Yep.
So basically, so you got those three, and then we also the only other one from Georgia that I see that has any extra points is Logan Wilson. He came in ninth.
Yep. Yeah, he's been in the top 10. Yep.
And so I think that's the only other Georgia person I see. Zach and Logan are the only two I see up here. So I kind of changed my math just to include what those two would have to do to catch Joseph.
Exactly.
And so I just kind of sort of put, like right now, shooter of the year points after two shoots. Again, 900 pages of crap here. Joseph leads everybody. He's got 94 points. Dan McCarthy is 4 points behind him at 90. And then Brady Myers, who won Fort Benning, is 14 points behind Joseph at 80. So already this guy's won an event and Joseph's won an event, but because of their placement in the other event, Joseph's got a 14-point lead on him. So that's pretty high.
For sure.
So what I did was just I did some math to see, okay, for Dan to catch Joseph, Dan needs to beat Joseph, which those two are really good friends. Dan comes down in the snow and stays with Joseph a lot and shoots with him, so they're real good friends. So they'll be battling it out for the year because Joseph lives right across the river in Alabama.
For sure.
So Dan needs to beat Joseph over the next four events by 3 places. If he comes in second, Joseph comes in third this time, and then the next time it's first and second, and then the next time it's fourth and fifth, then
it's not enough.
Then we'll overtake Joseph. Because he needs 2 points per event, per 3 of the events to do it. So that one's pretty simple. That's going to be a tight race, which makes all of the other stuff we talk about really difficult to talk about. That's why it almost gave me a headache thinking about all these numbers one day. Because not only do you have to pass Joseph, you got to pass Dan too. And
sure, you got to run through them, both of them, to get up on the top. For sure.
And the possibility of both of them having the wheels fall off is not really a possibility. Yeah. So maybe one has some issues, but not usually. Those two are usually very consistent. So, all right. So for Brady Myers in third place, he's 14 points back. And again, so many scenarios to talk about. But Joseph, if he just shows up to the rest of the points, to the rest of the events, he gets 30 points for the next 4. He finishes the season with 214. If he does that, then Brady has to average a 9th place finish to catch him. He's in third place, has already won an event, and he has to finish in the top 10 in every single event if Joseph doesn't make another top 10.
Exactly.
So that's pretty strong. And so if Joseph averages a 6th place over the last 4 shoots, then Brady has to average 4th place. So Joseph does not make another shoot down. He comes in 6th every time. Then Brady has to come in has to have an average of 4th place. Now again, he could go 1st, 5th, but he has to have an average of fourth place.
4th or better, yeah.
4th or better, and then if Joseph does get that 32 points for 10th every time, then Brady would need to average a 7th place finish. And again, if he only has to average 9th, that's only just a top 10. Well, top 10 in the Open Pro is pretty dang strong.
It's not easy.
Ask Logan Wilson. He's got one of them this year, and I guarantee he's very proud of it because that's a lot of hard work. So anyway, that just shows you what some of the complaints have been so far. I've seen some of the podcasts where they're saying that, hey, Joseph's already won it. not necessarily, but
No.
yes, he has to kind of fall.
He has the advantage for sure.
He has the keys in his hand, so he's
sure.
the one. If he keeps averaging that, like right now, he's got a first and a fourth. So if he averages that 2.5, whatever,
3 points, yeah. If he podiums out, he's in it. There's no doubt.
So again, so today what I did, I took Zach Hill as another instead of when me and Mike did it, I just did some other people. But since Zach's from Georgia, I took Zach, and going to do it backwards here. The 278 score. If Joseph averages third place the rest of the year, like he's doing now, he would have a score of 278. Sixth place would be 254. 10th would be 222. And like I said, just getting 30 points would be 214. So if Zach Hill, if Joseph does continue to get third place, Zach can't catch him. He would need 50.5 points at all 4 shoots, and that's impossible. 50 is the max. So if Joseph does the 6th place, then Zach needs to average at least 3rd place. If Joseph averages 10th place, Zach needs to average 8th place. And then if Joseph just shows up and gets, that 30 points every time, then Zach needs to come in 9th place. So he's, regardless, even if Joseph just shows up, he still
has to be in top 10.
For sure. Average top 10. Yeah. So.
Yep.
So I did Logan Wilson again just to show, what if there's somebody, Logan he's got 4 bonus points, so he has a 64. So what if someone like Sam Smith or Corey Bryant or Jay Moon, what if one of those down there that only has 60, what could they do? So I went ahead and did Logan at 64, and it kind of shows you the same thing. Again, if Joseph finishes that, with a 3rd place average, can't catch him. If he finishes with a 6th place average, then Logan has to finish with a 2nd place average. Good luck. First, second the whole year. Maybe throw in a 3rd. And then if he finishes with a 6th, what is that? That would be a 10th place. He'd have to have a 6th place average. Sixth. That's a hard word to say. 6th place average. And if he doesn't make another top 10, he would need a 7th place average. So again, just if you've only been to 2 events and haven't made a podium, you would have to. You're going to have to stay in the top 10 the rest of the way and probably win 1 or 2.
For sure. To even have a chance.
Yeah.
At playing the numbers. And you've gave out the Open Pro because that's the big deal. That's the top. But
it gave me a headache just doing these numbers. If I did all 6 classes.
I was going to say there's 6 pro classes that are doing it this way.
Yeah.
So senior pro, open pro, known pro, women's known pro, senior women's known, men's known, senior known. Oh my goodness! But I'll be honest. I mean, I know that there was needing to change. Out of 15 years, and we're going to break it down. 15 years, only 2 people have won that.
Oh yeah.
So. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Those are great. They're phenomenal people. They're phenomenal shots. But something needed to change to at least close the gap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this is the right thing. But
we'll find out at the end of the year, yeah.
Yeah. But something needed to change to close the gap. If we have a new person out of 15 years that wins it, then they did something changed.
Yeah.
Now,
and if that happens, let's say Joseph goes on and wins. Joseph, again, has been a really good shooter for years and years and years. And that's what some people don't understand is how good these guys are because Dan and Levi have won everything. But there's so many other good shooters. But if he does go on and win, I will tell you the one discussion that'll probably happen is people will be doing like I'm doing now. They would be going out and going, okay, if this was 2025 scoring, how would it
have happened? Yep, exactly. Where would it have happened? And honestly, because you've been in this as long as I have, we have watched. Nobody stays on top forever. Nobody.
Oh, how many people have I known that were on top when I started that quit because they got target panic or something,
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and, I love Jack Wallace, but I remember Jack having, phenomenal days, and then he'd be last. And then phenomenal days, and he'd be last. And he figured it out. He said he had to learn to play the game. And Dan has said 1,000 times that he was tired of being a bridesmaid, for so long. Just reach. I mean, it's right there. So yeah, I understand that completely. Don't get me wrong. And Levi is a freaking phenomenal shot and a pretty good guy.
That's what makes him and Dan so freakish is if you take any other class, if let's say you have a buddy that goes down to Minden next week and wins, I don't know, known 45.
For sure.
And then the next event, he's probably going to come in 23rd because he didn't practice because he figured it out. I got this stuff figured out.
I got it covered.
And that's the hardest for your coach. That's the hardest part of coaching is once you do shoot well, you better work harder. And that's what has made Levi and Dan, they're so flatlined across the top. Everybody's like, well, Levi sucks this year. Levi's shot really well this year. Everybody else is just better, and he's missed the shoot down by like a point or two every time. Yep. So it's, he's still right there. So it's just, they're so consistent. That's what's made those two freaks for so long. It's just how consistent they are.
That's right. And the same thing happens with all the other classes. Paige dominated when they first opened the women's pro known class. Yeah. And, boom, 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 she had it. Well, what happened is those girls got tired of it and they went to work, right? I mean, and that's what happened. She said it. She said, I want those girls to work. I want to be beat because I want to, and then the women's known 45 class or known 50 class has gone ridiculous. What a bunch of young ladies that have decided it's time to go.
15, 17 years old, and they can flat out shoot. So
100%.
It's kind of the Tiger Woods effect. When he first started doing it, everybody was scared of him, and then all the young guys are coming in going,
I can do that too.
I don't remember when he was that great, so let me go beat him. So
yep, for sure. It's same thing, it's just the women's open. I mean, some of the same names are always at the top because the cream rises to the top. I remember, and we'll go back when we shot 14s. When we shot 14s, the gap was bigger, but it was the same people.
Yeah, they had no scoreboards. That's one reason they got rid of them, no scoreboards. I remember like one event you had, I think it was Tim Gillingham or somebody that went stupid and hit a bunch of them, and then the next event nobody did. Nobody's hitting them because everybody's gunning for them, and
they're a lot. 100%. It's a lot like crack, right? You get that hit and you go, oh, I gotta do that again. Or if you missed one, it's like, oh my God, I gotta hit them now. Man, if you can't hit the 10 ring, what makes you think you can hit a 14 ring?
I was glad to see them go because I tried not to shoot at them, but if I ever hit one, can I get some more? Can I hit a little more?
That's right. You get jonesing for the next one. I mean, those 14s were something else. There's no doubt about it. And I've heard a lot of people says, why don't we just shoot the 14s? I'm like, well, if you want to get hooked on crack, just bring the 14s back and you'll figure out for sure what that feels like.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't because of having a scoreboard, but I'm glad they haven't. But anyway. So we'll go back to Levi again. So again, just because he won so many in a row. Was it 12 in a row? And now he's won like 14 or 15
14 total, yep.
And so basically, just to go over him, he did not have a top 10 in the first one. Finished like last shoot at Fort Benning where everybody shot a 422. He had a 421. So basically, he has a 30 and a 40. So he has 70 points. And again, the same thing with him. If Joseph averages 6th, then Levi has to average 3rd. So that's kind of, again, he's got to shoot. He's got to make the shoot downs, and he shot well, but he has to shoot. He has to shoot better. So I went back and did 2025 scoring. Okay, how would it look right now? 2025 scoring. Joseph Goza would still be leading. It'd be 850 points because he shot a 428, 422. Dan McCarthy would still be second with 426, 422, but it would be instead of a 4-point lead, it'd be a 2-point lead. Brady Myers, who's now in third, would be 412 and a 422. So he would have an 834. He would be 16 points back, and now he's 14, but he would no longer be in third. I didn't go through and see how many people would have hopped him, but Levi Morgan would have hopped him. Levi has shot a 416 and a 421, and he's got an 837. So he would actually be 13 points back where Brady would be 16 points back. So, again, I think the difference right now for a Joseph or a Dan, if you had 4 shoots and Levi's only 13 behind you, that would kind of make you nervous because he's been known in the past to say, hey, I got to win one of these last 2.
For sure.
So basically, again, now he would, he would only be 13 points back, and now he is 24 points back now with the new system.
With the new system, yeah.
With actually accumulated scores, he's 13 back, but with this year's system, he is 24 back.
Yeah, so 11 points difference in the system.
Yep, he's sitting in 10th place shooter of the year. He would be about third, fourth, fifth based on score alone.
For sure. Yeah, it's very interesting for people to look at. And we had the same thing at the state level about shooter of the year.
How many times that was changed? Just trying to make it more fair and not just, hey, I went to 27 shoots.
Yeah, that was a big deal last year, the bonus points. But at the same time, the reason the bonus points are there is to drive people to the shoots.
Yep.
And the point being is that two sides of the story, right? If you had the bonus points, you had those people show up, and they wouldn't have showed up if they didn't get that extra point or 2 points or whatever. And so it moved the numbers. There's no doubt in my mind on that.
Way back, probably 2001, 2002, ASA came out and said they were going to try a real shoot of the year in the state. The problem was, as state director for 10 or 12 years, you realize that, people are like, it's June. They're going, hey, can we have another qualifier? Hey, if everybody back then, you had to have your qualifiers turned in like November.
Yeah,
December.
November, December. Yep.
Most people didn't even have a schedule yet.
100%.
And so basically that was the problem with it. But we, probably 25 of us drove from here. I know it was me and Narvi and my brother and RB, and just so many people from the Columbus area drove all the way down to Ogeechee, Bowman, way down Brunswick area or Savannah area.
Savannah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we went down and shot their qualifier because they were going to have like 12 qualifiers, and you had to have like 10 scores or something. And so we were ready for it, and then they wound up having to cancel it because other clubs would call and go, hey, we want a qualifier, and we didn't know anything about all that. So it wound up being a cluster. But so it's been a hard road to try to get a federation, shooter of the year. That's a lot of work to iron that out.
For sure. And so this year they took away the bonus points, which is I'm not complaining. No bonus points, but it's you have to shoot more qualifiers.
How many do you have to shoot?
If I'm not mistaken, you have to shoot 4 qualifiers and the state. So
okay.
Don't hold me to it, but 4 or 5 qualifiers and the state, which is more than what we used to. It used to be 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it was. But I think it's because we have more qualifiers this year than we've had in the past.
Yeah.
Every club is allowed 2. As far as I know, because we have enough clubs in the that have joined, so that we have enough clubs that have 2. So I'm hosting my first 2 shoots are both ASA qualifiers.
Cool.
And you missed the first one, so you got to come to the second one. So they're on Sunday.
Yeah, that's
I know.
I know. We've actually got a few close because we're so close to Alabama over here that we've actually got Lee County bow hunters.
Yep.
And we've had a couple of clubs, that have actually had a local shoot. Like Fort Benning has actually started having local shoots.
Yeah, they're back. I saw they're back shooting again, so that's good.
I've not even made one of their shoots yet. So I mean, it's crazy. It's the number of shoots and everything else going on in life, I guess. But yes, I do like to come up and I've shot y'all with y'all. You know how I am. Like once or twice a year, I like to come up and shoot one of those 15-meter deals that that people put on just to do something different. Which I think is just a lot of fun.
It is
I like
something
to go
different.
Things, yeah. And again, the IBO that I might go to is on the same exact weekend as the Georgia Field, so I got to decide between those two. And I love the Georgia Field. Again, Ogeechee Bowman does a really good job with that.
Well, let me tell you a little secret about the field, and so I'm just going to break it to you. No walk-ups, no fans. 3 errors per target, 12 targets.
It's going to be more of a traditional then. What's the other one called?
It's more of an international round.
International, sorry, not traditional. International.
Yeah, more of an international round.
Is that to get participation?
I really believe so. I think, and I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but I believe that we are raising some of the laziest archers in the freaking world right now.
I know the last time I shot the 2-day field, the full field, me and you were like over there, like leaning over, see who can lean over the furthest one.
Yep.
That's right. It's a lot of work. It's
100%. It is the most fun you'll ever have. There's no doubt in my mind. And you learn more about your equipment and you as a person and you as an archer than you can anything else you do. Because here's the thing. You have 4 shots at the same distance. So if you screw up on the first one, you got to 3 more to get it right.
Yeah, and either was that a bad shot or was my sight in the wrong place?
Exactly.
There's a lot of thinking to it too that people don't think. Oh, it's just shooting at a dot. Yeah. If you hit high left, are you going to aim low right? Are you going to change your sight? What are you going to do? So you'll make a better shot. So it's a lot of fun to me. I like it. I'm not military, but I ran the Fort Benning archery range for 4 or 5 years.
Yes, sir.
I quit running it at 9/11 because we could no longer get on base. It was just became such a hassle to get shooters onto the base. So for years I ran it as whatever they call it, a civilian. I had a notebook about that thick of all the rules I had to obey. But basically, they had a field range there, and I went back and refurbished all of those targets. And not all of them. I did 10. I didn't do the full half 14. I did 10. So I would have 3D shoots where we would shoot 10 3D and 10 field. People are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because dude, that is the most fun. We might only do 2 arrows at the field. We might only do 3 arrows at the field. But I said it's going to make you so much better of a 3D shooter if you'll learn how to shoot that 60-yard shot or whatever.
Yep, for sure. No doubt about it. Well, Brian, tell everybody where you're at now, where they can find you, where you can get some bow work done in your area, because I know you run a little shop. You got a day job. Everybody has one of those things. I'm lucky enough that my day job is the archery shop, but for a lot of archery shops, it was that way for years. I worked on computers and worked on bows for years before I started doing this. So.
I grew up in the Columbus, Georgia area. I now live in Harris County, which is just north. If you've ever heard of Callaway Gardens, I am just close to Callaway Gardens, probably 5 or 6 miles from Callaway Gardens. Me and Mike Webb. Mike Webb has worked at several archery shops around with Big Travis Turner with Real Tree up in the LaGrange area. He worked with several shops, and a lot of the people that are working on bows in this area now learn from Travis. We just, I used to go in there and sit there and go, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
Exactly.
That's how I learned to work on bows. But anyway, so we have Mulberry Creek Archery, which is right here in Hamilton, Georgia. It's actually behind Mike Webb's house. It is a big, huge pole barn. We're a Darton and an Elite dealer in all of those companies, Black Eagle, Ultra Arrows, CBE, Scott, all of that. Mike has just retired as a fireman. He's working a couple of days a week now as, I guess, a civilian for the fire department, just to kind of keep doing some of the books for him. And so he'll be there like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be there Monday, Tuesday if somebody needs us during the day. And so we're going to be open more going forward because of his retirement. So, this time of year, we're usually appointment only, or either from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the afternoons every day. But this time of year, we're going to start being open more. I was up there today, most of the day, building strings and tuning a couple of bows, including my own. So anyway, it was, it has, like I said, being a small shop, we sell probably 40 bows a year. So we never have really pushed it a ton. We're more into service. There's some shops around here that don't even let the shooter paper tune. So we bring them in there, and if they have horrible form and the tear is that wide, when I shoot the same bow and it's a bullet hole, I just sit there and let's work on your release hand. Let's work on this. And so we do a little more coaching and a little more one-on-one. So we try to do it as more service oriented than just trying to sell a million bows.
Yeah, you're not a vacuum cleaner salesman. You're not trying to just move product. You're trying to educate the archer.
If we get you on the crack rock of archery, you're coming back to buy some more stuff. So.
No doubt about it. So that's how I feel. I feel that as a coach, and I've been coaching now I don't know how long. I can't even count. 25 years. I have been a certified archery coach now. But I think I owe it to the animal to have the person who's shooting a bow to be successful, you know. And yes, you remember when it was like, hey, I just got to shoot a pie plate, you know. And
one of the worst, exactly your line of thinking, one of the worst things I hate is, well, I'm not a target shooter. I just want to be able to hit that vitals. I'm like, okay, what if it moves? Let's hit the smallest part of that you can, and then if it moves, then you're good.
Exactly.
So you should treat it. You should be more accurate to shoot something that's living and breathing.
For sure, and that's the way I look at it. Everybody goes, sometimes there's some people out there that charge a lot of money to give that information that I give to people, because I feel like I owe it to the animal, and I feel like we want, make a better hunter. And if I treat you correctly, you're gonna, like you said, the crack of archery gets you hooked. And it's the craziest thing, because we didn't have TAC events and other events that made people do things that they've never done before. Like, you would see that guy once a year. He'd show up, buy 6 arrows, shoot the pie plate, and he was good to go. And that same guy now comes in and goes, hey, I need a TAC arrow so I can shoot 100 yards. And I want to make sure that my bow is tuned to the spec. And, what do we got to do to shoot through paper? I was like, well, I'm not shooting your bow through paper because I don't shoot your bow. So what reason do I need to shoot your bow? You need to shoot your bow through paper, and let's see what happens. And, let's shoot more than one, because if we get a tear, like you said, this wide, shoot it again. Let's see if it has the same tear, if there's something different. Then you're inconsistencies. And now we can see your inconsistencies. And let's not shoot the same arrow 5 times. That's a bad arrow that's got a crooked nock, and it's always going to be bad.
Now you're talking about, I literally did that about, I don't know, probably a month ago. I thought something had gone wrong on the bow, and I'm shooting, and I can't get it figured out. So finally I said, dude, you've been shooting the same arrow. I grabbed another arrow, and it was absolutely a damaged arrow. I was so livid with myself. I'd spent 30 minutes trying to figure out what was wrong with my bow.
100%. That's what, paper is cheap. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not saying paper is the end all say all. That's actually I think that's the starting point. That's a perfect starting point. But if you know the arrow is coming out of the bow straight to start with, now we can group tune and a walk back tune, or whatever we need to do, broadhead tune, so forth and so on, to get the bow forgiving for you. And that's where we, like you said, you do the same thing. It's not about, the bow's bullet holing, so going out the door. It's about, let's make you shoot the bow better so that you are more comfortable. And if you're more comfortable, you're going to go shoot some more. Not that we're going to make that 80-yard shot on a deer in live hunting, but it makes that 20-yard shot so much easier when you have confidence that you can hit that 80-yard spot.
Definitely. That's, tell people all the time, just shoot, if you can shoot 40 at your house, do it. And then the 20 is so much easier. So
for sure.
Yeah. But I'll tell you another quick story of how paper tuning can help. I know it's not the end all be all, but years ago when I first wanted to get into 3D archery, I would go into some shops and they're like, you can't shoot 3D with that bow. You got to have this, And so I never would do it. So one year I finally decided I'm gonna get into this. I didn't ever start shooting 3D till I was 35 years old. So I said I'm gonna go and do it. And
that was what was that, 2 years ago, Brian?
Yeah. I bought everything wrong. I bought a 5-inch brace height bow because I thought I needed speed. And so anyway, I go into, just luckily, the first shop that I really met to help me with learning 3D was Travis Turner, which was phenomenal because he saw the addiction that and he would hand me videos of, hey, this is the shoot down from last year's Gainesville, Florida, and I would go watch it and bring it back. Like he was my blockbuster for archery. But so basically, I'm shooting my bow that he's tuned, and I'm tearing like 8 inches. Because I had a 5-inch brace height. It was nicking me, and I didn't decide I was going to match.
You can't wear a watch while you shoot it.
Exactly. So he said, dude, your bow is not out of tune. He picks it up, and he shoots a perfect bullet hole. And I'm like, crap. So it's all me. And so he goes, yeah. And so I said, can I just keep shooting? He said, yeah. So I literally sat there until my arm was blue and just kept relaxing that front hand. And that bow, actually, the first year I shot hunter with a Martin Rage, a 5-inch brace height bow. In my whole first year shooting the hunter class, and that bow taught me how to shoot, because if you got a little wiggly with your front hand, you knew it immediately.
100% it showed up in the shot.
Yep. So my next bow was an MQ1 the next year with like a 7.5-inch brace sight. So I went a long way the other way. I said, we're not doing this again. So
very forgiving at that point, for sure. But yeah, that was let's see, he was running in Hogansville at the time, right?
Yeah,
at
it was his own shop. Archery Unlimited, which is funny because Alabama's got an Archery Unlimited.
Yes,
and always that back then.
It was that was Archery Limited in Alabama, Archery Limited in Hogansville. I mean, Travis was and me and Travis have been talking a lot lately, and he's probably going to come on the podcast here soon. So I hope so.
Talked to him on the drive to Mount Airy, just texting him. I didn't talk to him. I texted him asking him about I thought it was going to be a full walkthrough shoot, and it really wasn't. You had some walkthrough aspects of it. IBO, the National Triple Crown, for those that don't know, is supposedly you shoot an arrow, carry your bow, and then go from target 1 to stake 2, which might be 50 yards to your right, and then you shoot, and then you carry your bow and you go. So that's called a walkthrough course. A real walkthrough. So I thought this one was going to be, but we did shoot a lot where you come back, shoot back. Dude, some of those hills straight downhill, and you're having to come back. I would have rather had a walkthrough.
For sure.
Straight downhill, go get your arrow and try to find trees to pull you back up. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, so I was texting him, asking him some advice, and other than Advil, and he said ice, just ice.
For sure. But yeah, the walkthrough course, that's a lot like golf. If anybody's ever played golf, you get to the your final hole and you shoot, and then you move over, and then you're at the tee. And walk through, a lot of field courses used to be walked through.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I remember because back before I ever shot tournaments, there was one. It's now part of all the old timers, including Blake Berger, because he's really old. Anyway,
throw Blake under the bus. There we go.
He's my age, but there was one called Cherokee Bowman here in Columbus. And I remember one time going out. Now it's part of Bull Creek Golf Course. They took that land over. The city did, and made it, instead of 18 holes, 36 holes. So anyway, I remember one time just going out there. I wasn't a member. It was city property. I just walked out and shot it. And I do remember shooting and then pulling and going, where do I go from here? And walk down there. So that was rain.
A lot of the TAC courses are that way. I don't know if you've ever shot a TAC event, but the TAC events are you carry your equipment, pull your arrows, walk off, and then you're at the next spot, because it's a walkthrough type course. There's some plus and minuses to all of it. You've got to make sure that it's clear before you shoot your arrow, because it's just same thing. An arrow is definitely more dangerous than a ball.
When we get out the FO, whew, it's already there.
Yeah. So, so you have to make sure it's clear and that kind of thing. But 4 wide shooting at the same time, walkthrough courses are freaking phenomenal for field. There's no doubt about it.
As a matter of fact, I've watched some videos of the NFAA Nationals in South Dakota, and I think it's a walkthrough.
It is a walkthrough, yes. It is a walkthrough, and they're 4 wide on 98% of their targets, for sure. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the fun part. So Brian, how long have you been shooting? Give me a math.
Again, I'm 60 years old. I started, it's very weird. I have 2 brothers. I'm the middle. I know that's hard for everyone to believe that I could possibly be the middle child. But anyway, my dad was a bow hunter. My uncle was a bow hunter. Their best friend was a bow hunter. So, I was, as a kid at knee high, I was going with my dad over to my uncle's house to shoot arrows. Matter of fact, my cousin called me and said, hey, do you want any of this stuff in my uncle's closet? And I went over there and got an old bow and got some old aluminum arrows and things like that with the old razorback broadheads. Some of the same stuff I have from my dad. But anyway, so my older and younger brother had no desire to shoot a bow. Now they both shoot now, but they didn't back then. I remember, I shot all the time, even recurves, little bitty things. But like I said, I always wanted to try tournament archery. I would see it, you would see the Buckmaster on TV. You would see, some ASA events back when it was Wayne Pearson's Outdoor.
Wayne Pearson Outdoors, baby.
You would see that on TV, and I just wanted to try it. And honestly, like I said, in just 1 year, I just decided I'm going to do this. So that was 1999. So I've been shooting 27 years. I had the injury a couple years ago and broke both my arms.
Both arms. Yep.
I didn't play veto, and he broke my arm with a baseball bat. I actually fell off a 2-story roof, but that's what it looks like. Looks like I didn't pay my gambling debts. Arms out here like this, and let's break them. So anyway,
that's a whole lot better story than just I fell off the roof.
They told me I couldn't fly like Superman, so I was going to prove it. But anyway, one of those years I could not shoot at all in 2019. I couldn't shoot at all. So that's the only year I missed, was the year I was basically in a wheelchair. So for 6 or 8 months. But anyway, I've shot every year since 1999. And again, this weekend I'm out there wearing a T-shirt. I didn't wear anything. The first day I didn't wear any of I forgot to put on a shooter shirt. And I'm shooting with 2 guys that don't know me, one from Indiana, one from New York. And it's like half the groups we meet are going, Dansby, why are you at an IBO? They're looking at me like, who is this guy? I just shoot a lot. I like shooting, so I like to go to stuff and try things that are, maybe I'm not going to go to all 3 of the National Triple Crown, but I just want to go and try. I might not want to try for the USAT, but I want to try, going to shoot with y'all one time, a 50 meter. I just like trying these different things. So, and me, I'm a talker, so I get to kind of meeting everybody once I get there.
Well, that's the cool part about it is, I tell everybody, I said some of my best friends are all archers, and they're all around the freaking United States because I met them at this event or that event, and now we're like, buddies. We talk about, your daughter's doing this and your, son's doing that. We get to know each other as a person, but we still have the same love for the sport.
Especially when I used to write articles.
Yep.
Pay for this addiction. I used to write articles for magazines and stuff like that. I've had some in DON. I've had some in a lot of different bow hunting magazines, just tournament news type thing. Had a few web pages over the years. But even back then, especially, 90% of the names in my phone were archer.
For sure. That's a fact. I mean, it's funny. Like we all went to school. We all went to high school. We all went to college of some sort. And most people, that's their friends. But we were all shooters, so we found folks in a different group. My story is the same thing. Is like I started as I shot my first animal with a bow when I was 12. And I actually shot Wayne Pearson's tour as a kid.
Cool.
And went down because some friends were going down. I didn't know no different. I mean, it was just like, hey, we're just gonna shoot a bow, and I didn't know. I would come tournament shooting, and then I think it was 90. Let's see, 2000. So 98, 97, something like that, is where some friends asked me to do tournament shooting, and I was killing, I was a killer. I was going to shoot animals. It didn't matter. And so I was invited to shoot at a tournament, and then we went to the next thing. And you remember the Triple Crown that we did with Lake Oconee and 12-point archery and Hillsman's archery. We had this thing, and that's what turned me on into competitive. Right. I mean, that was definitely competitive, and that put me on. And then from then on, I traveled the whole circuit. I traveled a Pennzoil tour. I traveled other different tours. And then my uncle, who passed away with cancer, he wanted to shoot them all, and so we went to all of them, and that was the coolest thing. And I had always missed. I never went to Texas because it was like, that's just too far. And I didn't see Superman but a couple of times, but I
love Metropolis. My thing with Metropolis, you get up there, ride around after you get through shooting and see all the bucks.
Look at all the bucks. Yeah.
And then you don't even care about. I've probably had more top 10s in Metropolis because I don't care. I'm like, you see the bug?
Yeah.
Who cares about himself?
You see that sucker sitting out there? Yep. Yeah. I mean, is looking out through the cornfields there for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's the coolest part about archery, is that we made friends in so many different ways. And like I said, the reason that Georgia Archery started is because I was collecting all the information for all the shoots everywhere. And then I started getting phone calls that said, "Hey, John, who's shooting where? Hey, John, who's shooting where?" And I was like, "I'm going to build a web page and I'm going to put it all on there." And then we just, it has grown from there. And that's what we've done. So, and the same thing, I saw your post and I thought, hey, let's talk about it, So at the end of this whole thing, and we figure out who wins, maybe me and you'll get back together. And
Yes.
We'll talk about the goods and the bads of this whole shooter of the year for the pro class.
It's like I said to Mike on the little one we did, is that there's no villain in archery anymore. There's really not a bad guy. I'm looking at all the names on this top 15. There's one or two I don't really know, but the rest of them that I know,
That's because they're young. That's because they're youngins, Mike.
Yeah.
Like Mike came in and he's like, "I don't know that kid." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't know that kid either, but he's on the list."
Yeah, there's so many good shooters these days. So anyway,
well, all great movies need a villain.
yeah. Let's figure out who's going to be the bad guy.
We got to figure out who's going to be the bad guy.
I don't know. Jacob User sings really nice, but he is from New York, so maybe we'll just start spreading rumors about him.
Start spreading rumors about Jacob. Jacob's a good guy. Let's not do that.
We talked to him once or twice at the Darton booth, but he just seems like such a nice guy. So
for sure. Well, look, I'm just gonna have to do my normal thing. Make sure you find us. We're on social media everywhere and anywhere that you can find us. We're on Instagrams, the TikToks, the X that used to be Twitter, Facebook, Snappy Chats, and all these videos on YouTube. And then if you're listening to this in audio, it's in your favorite audio format for sure. We're on all the big ones. And if we're not, send me an information. Say info@georgiaarchery.com and say, "Hey, I couldn't find you." And I'll make sure that, you tell me what your app is and I'll make sure we get loaded on. But I tell you what, the biggest thing we need likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. So get out there and just click the like button, click the share button, and the subscribe button, because it helps us more than you'll ever know for sure. Also, just so you know, let's see if I can get it to go here. Boom. We have a raffle contest. I don't know if you knew this, Brian, but we are we have a raffle for you. Have a chance to win that Mossy Oak gas bowstrings, one of 500. So it'd match your hunting bow very well. $20 a ticket. Get out there and buy a few tickets. There's normally $200. So if you buy that set of strings, it's $200. Then you got to have somebody to put it on, whatever. So go and spend $20 and get a $200 set of strings, luckily. And I have some consolation prizes in the effect too. So there's some hats and some shirts that'll be coming from other sponsors, because I have sponsors, and they've generously gave me some other things, but Gas has said, "Hey, let's make this the top prize." So Eric has done a great job with that company and done his thing. So get out there and do that. Share, like, comment, subscribe. It's and yes, I talk Georgia Archery, but I talk archery in general, because we know everybody from all over the place for sure. So man, I tell you what, it's been pretty interesting. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch because, like you said, you did the math, and it's the other two guys, not that they can't do it. The top two that've been there for so long can't do it. But, the numbers have made it a little different, so they have to work a little harder. So, hey, so be it.
Yeah, this weekend I'll kind of iron out a little bit more. When we leave Minden, it might be totally different, but we'll see then.
Are you headed to Minden?
Oh, yes. I smell crawfish.
You smell crawfish.
Oh, man. Oh, some crawfish etouffee. I'm ready for some food. That's some good eating out there.
That's always good eating out that way for sure. Well, good luck to you in Minden. I'm not going. I will probably see you in Kentucky if I don't see you locally before then. We appreciate you coming on tonight and just talking about anything and everything archery and this whole pro shooter difference in what had happened and what is not happening. And I know Byron threw you under the bus the other day. That was pretty funny.
I didn't really remember that, but as soon as he said it, I was like,
It's like bing, bing, bing. Yep.
yeah, thanks, Byron. You're going to kick me in the other side of my, whatever. But anyway.
Yep. I seen him
out of it. So, like I said, just everybody shoot your foot a little bit and let's go.
That's right. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Big John.